Okay, let's see. Where is he at? Where is he at? There it is. All right, this is good. This is good stuff, guys. Okay, one, which was 3 days ago. Over the weekend, Iraq released its new dinar currency. Today, March 31st, is the final day for international contracts in Iraq to be implemented or null and void. Midnight in Baghdad is 5 p.m. Eastern time. They must release by midnight or contracts go away. Guess what? The contracts didn't go away. It's been released. In fact, CBDC is getting ready to put out a digital currency. And when they do the digital currency, guess what? There's our rate. That's why we're very, very close. Release of the dinar rate on Forex has been pushed to, you ready for this? Monday, April 7th. So Monday, it'll be on Forex. So get ready for that. And you know what that does to the WISE account. This gives the banks enough time to exchange the internet group ahead of the public, which is what's happening right now. I've been telling you about this for a week. Officially, the new dinar rate was released in the global banking system Friday night, and the money was moved last week to prepare for the exchanges. All is set to go. Banks are setting customer appointments for tomorrow, which was the 1st. And no, it wasn't April Fool's, but, you know, actually what you should be saying instead of April Fool's is Happy New Year, because that's what it really is, okay? And let's see. And money was moved last week to prepare for the exchanges. All is set to go. Banks are setting customer appointments. Some may go tonight, some may go tomorrow. Our primary sources have repeatedly received information from his contacts that the new dinar rate will be announced before 5 p.m., which meets Iraq's midnight deadline, which already happened. He is expecting to do a second conference call this weekend with the 800 number and final information we need. And Eastern Standard Time Bank says Nassar and Gassara should be announced by the 8th. Hey, rock and roll. All right. He is expecting to do a second conference call this evening with the 800 numbers and final information that we need. Okay. Paymasters and buyers have funds in their accounts and should be dispersing to the bondholders or asset holders next week and into and through the end of next week. Now, what does that mean? That's my group. The bondholders, the D1. That's me. I'm in with the sovereigns. So, wish me luck. Wish all of us luck. Prayers to everyone. If you need to get a hold of Dr. Wiedemann for the longevity stuff, and you didn't write down the information that I already gave you, then email me at chancemusic@yahoo.com. I'll send you right over to Dr. Wiedemann. If you need to get a hold of the stem cell ladies for LifeWave products, don't order direct and don't order off Amazon. You get more benefits by going direct through me and Doc G, okay? And send me an email to chancemusic@yahoo.com. I will send you right over to Ann and we'll get you set up. And I don't know what else to tell you guys. Everything's going good. Everything's great. Don't be discouraged. Listen to if you can, go back and listen to Wyatt's video again that we played at the beginning of the show. And we want you to know that we love you. And we want do prayers for Shelley, prayers for Morris, prayers for Bernadette, prayers for every one of you that are sick, prayers for Russell, prayers for everybody who's having health problems. You know who's sick in your neighborhood. Pray for them. Okay? You have a superpower. Right here it is. The power of prayer. That is your superpower. Embrace it. All glory goes to God. Everything we are And everything we have is because of the glory of God. The power of prayer cannot be denied. I love you all.
All right. Let's dive into some fun stuff. We are seeing a massive concerted effort, and boy, I tell you, they've ramped it up over the last day or so. And today they hit the turbo button. They kicked in the supercharger and hit the nitrous. Speaker of the House of Representatives receives an acting U.S. ambassador to Iraq. After the announcement of tariffs, of course, some people overreacting in Iraq specifically. They're just saying, hey, we just don't import that much. It really doesn't affect us. It's not on gas, oil, but it could affect us in the future if we do not come to the table and work on trade and trade deals as we grow. See, I like this one. Iraq takes it exactly the way it was meant. Hey, here it is. Now, what do we want to do about it? Now it's time to negotiate. Trump had to create a starting point for these nations, these countries all around the world. He had to create a starting point to start the conversation. We've been in a lopsided relationship. He wants to work on balancing the relationship. You got to start somewhere. So he picked a very reasonable level to start those negotiations. He does not want to isolate us from the whole world. Does he want to focus on strengthening us? Yes. But we're not talking about 1920s isolationism here. He's already clearly shown that because he did not go hard against the rest of the Americas. So a lot of left-wing and mainstream people out there trying to draw correlations that simply are not accurate right now. And the world's different. Very different. All right, keep going on this Iraqi front, and because it is very much entwined with Iran right now. Suddenly, out of Congress, we saw some massive moves today. Free Iraq from Iran Act. U.S. legislative efforts to curb Iranian influence. The proposed Free Iraq from Iran Act seeks to designate key Iran-backed groups operating in Iraq as terrorist organizations and to prohibit U.S. funds from reaching these militias. Of course, a lot of the funds they had to stop. NGOs, USAID, Institute for Peace, all these ones we've been going. Isn't that crazy? All right, anyways, that's a side note. In a concerted effort to bolster Iraq's sovereignty, focus on that, Iraq's sovereignty, and diminish Iranian influence within its borders, U.S. Representative Joe Wilson from South Carolina, Republican, has been in the forefront of legislative initiatives aimed at addressing these challenges. The proposed Free Iraq from our Iran Act seeks to designate key groups. Okay, you got where we're going on this one. It's all about making certain that Iraq is sovereign and free and stable. Guys, they need this. They need to make certain that the world thinks of it this way. Not only does it have to be true, but people have to understand that it's true. And this is very important because if, let's say, everybody thought that they were stable, but they weren't, that's bad. Let's say they're not stable, and everybody thinks so. You see where I'm going on this one. Either one of those, they have to be stable and they have to have the public perception so that they have faith in the currency. And then we're going to see it again. So we got two acts. We've got Congress busy, and then we're going to go to another one, Maximum Support Act. Now we're going to throw in another one, and this one is bipartisan. U.S. Congress unites to back the Iranian people. This one isn't for Iraq. This one is for the Iranian people, specifically give support to them. Pretty much straight up calling for a color revolution in Iran. But I think this is a smart move and a significant show of bipartisan solidarity with the Iranian people. We're not talking about the country. We're talking about the people, the citizens. U.S. Representative Joe Wilson from South Carolina and Jimmy Panetta from California, Democrat, have introduced the Maximum Support Act, the bill calling for robust and actionable measures to aid Iran's dissenting population. The bill unveiled on Wednesday, just yesterday, guys, is part of a broader legislative package aimed to reinforce the Trump administration's maximum pressure policy against Tehran, while simultaneously offering concrete support to those resisting the theocratic regime. It's now I do. It's and I very much agree with this one. A shift from rhetoric to action. We have heard a number of administrations claim that this is where they're going. This is the first one that's actually putting it into action. It's not just speak; it's work. It's the walk. It's not enough to talk the talk. You got to walk the talk. And we're walking. And I'm looking forward to walk. Somebody give me a med bed. All right. The Iranian protests continue to grow. Some of the key provisions from the act enhanced internet freedom. The bill mandates U.S. support for VPN services. This is something that the previous administration was trying to do away with throughout the U.S. This administration, hey, we're all about you having your freedom and freedom of information. Satellite to cell technology, so they can go directly. Specifically, when they talk about this one, guys, who's the forefront of satellite to cell technology? Anybody out there? Beach Brad just says, Panetta lives a few miles from me, real piece of work. I bet they are. I'm just really surprised that that's who crossed the aisle. I'm glad they crossed the aisle, though. All right. That, of course, would be Elon Musk, the Tesla folks, SpaceX specifically, for the satellite to cell technology. They are at the absolute forefront. So they are working on SIM access, allowing Iranians to bypass government-imposed internet blacked-out and censorships. Let people find the truth, all the truth, make their own decisions. They're going to support defections, a structured plan to facilitate and manage defections from the Iranian government and security forces, providing them with secure communication channels. This one's going to be interesting, guys. Could draw some backlash from China. I don't know if we'll get any backlash from Russia on this one. Asset seizure from and redistribution. Iranian government assets under U.S. jurisdiction could be redirected to fund humanitarian aid to assist striking workers and provide medical support to protesters. They're going to counter the regime's global repression. This one's important to me. They don't go into it the way I wish they had here. The bill calls for terrorism sanctions against Iran's Ministry of Intelligence, which has targeted dissidents both inside and outside the country, and they have. They've gone after folks outside, just like China. I look at the repression of women, and as a father, as a brother, as a son, as a nephew, etc., this one really, really gets my crawl. Women are not cattle. Period. They are human beings and an important part of our lives. Strategic coordination, establishing a multi-agency task force and appointing a special representative to oversee U.S. efforts in supporting Iranian democratic movements. I know. To all their own culture, I get it. I do. This is one you're never going to convince me, no matter how hard you try. They need respect. They deserve respect. Period. I look at Afghanistan. I look at Iraq. Iran. Any country that subjugates women, to me, is just, I don't have any use for them. Just, all right. Anyways. No, I didn't see any posts, guys. I can't read them while I'm looking at the articles. Unfortunately, it blocks your chat. All right, let's keep going. Loving the direction in Congress. So what have we seen? We see our representative sitting down with the Speaker of the Iraqi Parliament, making certain that they know that things are safe and stable, keeping the lines of communication open. We have a bill to remove Iranian influence from Iraq. Now we've got this one, a maximum support act to support Iranians. Guys, this is, I'm told, one of the biggest reasons we don't already have a new value on the dinar has been Iranian influence. And here we have a massive move to remove those tentacles. All right.
Now, I would like to talk first of all, because Jeannie reminded me, and then Sue reminded me, of course, again, about the med beds. So here's what is new about the med beds since Tuesday. We have 18,000 med bed centers in the United States. Each center has 2 med beds in it. So 18 times 2, that's 36,000 med beds in 18,000 centers across the country. Okay, well, that sounds like a lot. Yeah, that's a lot. But with a country with our population, I can see where it would get pretty busy. Now, what about people that are homebound, that kind of are bedbound or in hospice or in situations like that? guess what they've come up with? This started 6 months ago. I find out about it yesterday. 6 months ago. They have 8,000 mobile Medbed units ready to roll. They are in used UPS trucks, those box trucks, you know, used FedEx trucks. Remember the box trucks that FedEx is still using? And in some box ambulances as well. So even though when somebody roars up the street in an ambulance, everybody looks out the window and says, oh, it's going to so-and-so's house. I wonder, you know, what's going on? Well, that's why if they use UPS and FedEx, in addition to some ambulances, it's everybody used to saying FedEx and UPS trucks. So it's not going to be anything that seems out of the ordinary. But these mobile units will be able to go to the homes of people that are bedbound or wheelchair bound or whatever, just easier to access them. Now, they are supposed to roll out as well as the Medbed centers being available starting the 9th or 10th of April. Now, the 10th would be a week from today. 9th would be the day before, which would be Wednesday. So that's terrific news that we didn't know until today. Medbed mobile units and Medbeds available starting the 9th or 10th of April. So that's really the Medbed news that I had to bring. So where are we in this thing? Intel has been a little bit fractured, a little bit unable to assimilate quite everything into a perfect puzzle. But every day I've been getting a puzzle piece that's coming in and allowing this picture to be completed. And I'm just going to not go back a full week or a couple of days, but just say today, the algorithms for the 800 numbers have been loaded. The emails, addresses with the toll-free numbers are loaded. But there was an issue today with funds that were sent from HSBC. These were bond funds sent from HSBC to Wells Fargo, and there was a snafu. There was a problem. It got solved and it got rectified sometime this afternoon. And I am supposed to receive the 800 number anytime now. In fact, it looked like I was going to have it for tonight's call. It looks like I didn't get it by tonight. So I was hoping to be able to put it out tonight on the call. That's how close we are. Now, is it going to be tomorrow? I don't know. I would say it should be based on what I heard before the call tonight. So we'll have to see. Now, I'm going to tell you guys, we're very close on that. But I did hear something that I'm not quite 100% comfortable with. But this is interesting, and I think I should tell you guys. All right, let's say we put the 800 number out on the website, right? BigCallUniverse.com. And that Bob gets Raleigh to send out an email blast to the people that want the toll-free number sent to their email. We do that, assuming that we're allowed to. We believe we will. And you're going to be getting emails from Wells Fargo servers. They know who the currency holders are. They know who the ZIM holders are, et cetera. So they're going to be sending those out. And let's say we get them. In fact, let's even say we get them tomorrow. Maybe noon, maybe 4 o'clock, whenever we get them, and we call to set our appointments. Now, what I'm understanding is that we'll set the appointment, but we'll call in to set the appointment. We'll go all the way to the Redemption Center. They'll talk to us, and then they will notify us in, I'm going to say, 3 days or so as to when our actual appointment will be. Time and day, time and day, time and day. Now, what's strange about that is if the numbers came out let's say in the morning, and we called. We thought we'd go in immediately, right then, boom, even tomorrow afternoon or Saturday, right? But the information that I'm getting is saying that there's a slight wait where they're going to call us to let us know when the appointment actually will be. And I've said a long time ago to several people, getting the toll-free number is half the battle. Or in a way, we're over 50% there when we get the 800 number. But why would they wait a few days to let us know exactly when our appointment would be? Why? And I think I figured it out yesterday. I think what they're doing is they're just going to vet us as per the KYC, know your customer type rules, to make sure that the deep state is not getting in. They're not going to get in to this exchange. The other reason is, remember, well, there were a number, and I think the number was about 26,000 bonds that were bogus, counterfeit, whatever you want to call them. They could not match them up to owners or powers of attorney representatives of the bonds, and they just literally could not match them up, or they were bogus. They were counterfeit bonds. Well, it took a while, but it only took about 2 days to go through all those. And they found out who the people were that put those bonds out in that were bogus, and they picked them up and arrested them already. Well, that was a slight delay. That was a day and a half delay. So there are these little things, and we're at a very, very high security level. DEFCON 1 is the highest level of readiness for our military. And there have been meetings going on with NORAD, meetings going on with the Treasury, with military, all of this stuff, and they're going through and running algorithms and running programs to see that we're good to go. And like I said, we were just about there before the call to where I really kind of thought I might get the number tonight. So, that being said, we're that close, and we need to keep pushing forward and believing for the 800 numbers to come. And then the next best thing to put it out tonight is going to be getting up with Bob and Raleigh and make sure we have the number correct and put it out on bigcalluniverse.com website. Now, Bob, here's the question. This number is primarily for the United States, and I believe Canada can use it. But it's really not for the rest of the world, which would include Latin America, which would include Europe, which would include the Far East, include the Middle East, all the rest of the world, South Pacific, everything. So it's not going to do any good. Now, even with the amount of listeners that we have to the Big Call and Big Call Universe, Bob, can our servers withstand people going to our site to pick up that 800 number? I don't know how much the traffic will be, but I believe it could be substantial. We'll see. But it's a real question. And I hope that when I get the number, I'll give it to the people that I have contacts for. And Sue can get it out to the pod. And, we'll get it out. But obviously, it would have been better had we been able to do it through the Big Call, like we're talking right now. So let's see what happens tomorrow. Let's see what happens.
After Bruce's Big Call, suggestions of possible notifications after you receive an email with a number to call to set your appointment. When you call in, the call center will route you or give you another number to call a redemption center via your zip code, and you get a live person at the redemption center, a person who can help you with your exchange. That person takes your info, and then they contact you back about 2 to 3 days later and give you the time and date of your exchange. The confirmation of the appointment This was totally new yesterday. That would be great. So check your email and junk email regularly, and you might want to adjust your phone calls allowed to receive settings and answer unnamed callers' calls temporarily.
And now we're going to pass the largest tax cuts in American history, and that's where we're relying on Mike and John Thune. And we will not cut Social Security, Medicare, or Medicaid benefit.
Jeffrey Paramo on X posted 3:16 a.m. April 4th, 2025, Black Friday. And he's tagged all these people here. It's got minus 1,525.84. And this post is from Entheos at Entheos Shines. Do not panic. When the stock market goes down below 20,000, remain calm. Everything is going to be reset and there will be volatility. Short-term disruption will eventually lead to long-term stability. We have one of the greatest minds in American history in the captain's chair. Tomorrow is going to be a doozy. Stuff guy, hang on to the railings, Jeffrey. Prayers. We're 3 feet from gold. It's time to land this sticker. Jeffrey is coming. Kelly, destruction of the old guard. Pug 2025. It's all gonna take time, and when the rebound hits, it'll be like one of Elon Musk rockets. Exactly. Forwarded from Mike. That'll be Mike Barra. So he's just reaffirming the intel from Sky or Kerri-Ann. Medbed's update 04/01/25. Kerri-Ann Thornton. Speculation. Medbed treatment first offered to humanitarian fund recipients who are in 5D, their immediate blood relatives and spouse only who need treatment. Your animals. Only you may book an appointment for yourself, your relatives who need treatment, your animals. You are required to tell your relatives about the medbeds before you book their appointments. To expect a phone call. Those unaware will go last. Well, I was quite sad because I tried to explain to my youngest son, who has slight autism called Asperger's, and he just wouldn't listen to me. So, oh well. I tried my best, but I reminded him that if I have my appointment, yeah, mother's going to be gone for a little while. Anyway, continue. You may not, or you'll go last, share Medbed booking contact details with anyone. Give up your place for someone else. Don't risk it. Strict NDA required for all Medbed recipients until made public and email release received. You will not be able to go back to your job. Kids will not be able to go to daycare. Broken NDAs will go last. Classified heavily guarded military technology. Advice. Tell people you live with about your treatment. Go to another town or on vacation with your family. Intuition. When you don't know how you know, but you know, and you know you knew, and that's all you needed to know.